Now that we have the designs for your t-shirts, it's time to find a service that can print on demand these t-shirts for you. We will sell these t-shirts in Etsy. You can sell these on Amazon or on your online store if you want. And there are services that, this is the beauty of this age where we have technology evolving so fast. So now we have services that can print these t-shirts on demand every time somebody purchases that, print the t-shirt and ship it to your client. So that's fantastic. You don't need to worry about any process here while somebody purchases your t-shirt. So let me show you the services that we have now. I asked ChatGPT, actually, since we are using artificial intelligence, make a list of on-demand, print-on-demand service for t-shirts. And here we have a list of 10 options. Printful, Gotten, Printify, Custom Cat, Teesprint, and all these. The one that is most recommended by the industry today, because they are super reliable, the quality is great, is Printify. So this is the one that we are using, and I recommend you to use here on this lesson. So if you want, you can click on the link that is here on the resources area of this lesson, and you will be here in the Printify store. So in here, all you have to do, you see here, smart online, no inventory, no upfront cost. So you don't need to worry about that. Best prices and selections. They have over 850 products that you can print on those products your image. So it's not only t-shirts, you can do other products as I will show you here. So try Printify free forever. You don't pay anything. They just get a commission every time they print a t-shirt. And I will show you how to do that right now. So let's go and click on Start Selling. I just log in with my account. If you don't have, you can create an account here. And we have 8 questions that you need to answer right now. So I will just, I represent a company. I'm going really fast here just to make sure we have the right answer. So we have, thank you for your time. What would you like to do now? We have 3 options. Order a sample, connect your store to Printify, or design your custom product. So you will go now, if you have an Etsy account or if you have a Shopify account, in this case Etsy, that's what we are recommending, you will click on connect your store. This is the one that we are using, right, for this course. I don't have a store yet, so I won't click on this because I can click on connect. You see here, we have Etsy, Shopify, Walmart. You can sell in all these places. If you have your website, you can use WooCommerce too. So for Etsy, you just click connect, easy connect. You see here, you enter your Etsy information and you will be connected to your Etsy store. Okay, so I will just jump that part and I'll go right now to the specific option where is design your custom product. So this is the one that we are using, Printify catalog. So you have all the products here that you can use to print your image on that. So you can sell not only t-shirts, guys, you can sell socks, you can sell things for home, accessories like iPhone or phones, cases, unlimited ideas here for you. So I want you to explore here and see what you like best. On this case, we are going with t-shirts. That's the business that we are promoting here. So let's go with unisex cut and sew tee. So let's try this one, for example. You see that they have 100% polyester, all the specific characteristics of this t-shirt. You see here, this is how it looks like. And they have many t-shirts that you can choose if you prefer, okay? I'm going with this just for test. So let's see on demand, is doing on demand. These are the locations where the on demand works for this specific t-shirt. That works for me, start designing. So you see here, we have the t-shirt here, the front, back, right, left sleeve, and all areas. So you can, we are on the front area now. This is where we are actually uploading our image, on this case. So to do that, we click on add design. I'm going now to my desktop where I have the image. So let's go with the astronaut first. It's uploading now. Excellent. You see the image here. I can change the size of this image. So let's do that right now. Let's increase here to, let's see, 20. That's too big. Let's go with 15. That looks nice. 15 by 15, wonderful. And I will change from white to black. I think, oh, look, looks great. Look at this. Black, or we can go gray, or we can go blue. So you can choose any colors that you prefer. In this case, for this image, I think black is the best. And once I'm ready, I can go on the back side. I can print things too. On the right, you see all these areas here. So I will just, to simplify the process here, let's imagine that I'm ready. I click on preview to see how it will look like the final product. This is how it looks like. I love it. It's great. This is how it looks like looking from the side. And this is a model wearing our t-shirt. Look at this. Wonderful. So I'm happy, save product. And now I can use all these images as a mock-up, right? If I want. You see the description, I can add the title if I want. I can check all the sizes. And when I'm ready, I click on publish. And this, of course, will be published on your Etsy store or on any store that you have that you connected. If we go back to the computer, you see here, publishing settings, connect to store. So here is where you need to connect your store if you have not done that yet. Well, that's how it works. I hope you try this. And in the next video, we continue with the way I'll show you what is the best software to analyze the Etsy store, to analyze which t-shirt is selling best. What is the best seller? Is best to create this design or maybe a different design? Can I sell this design like on a Mac or on an iPhone case? How well is that selling? We will analyze all that, the marketplace, in the next video. See you there. Okay guys, so welcome to this video. Here you will learn how you can see all the statistics of Etsy. What are the best products? How much people are making selling t-shirts, or how much people are making selling any products on Etsy. There is a software called Allura. Here is the link. You can go here, Allura, and this website, this service will show you all you need to grow your Etsy business. That's their promise. That means that you can come here and see what are the best-selling products. If we are talking about selling t-shirts here and you are creating these cool designs using Midjourney and artificial intelligence, you can come here and analyze any shop, any Etsy shop, any Etsy store, any specific products to see which one are the best selling t-shirts. Which one is the shop that is selling the best? What are the designs that are the best sellers? So you can, instead of just creating something random, that as we did here, creating the astronaut, let me show you again, creating the astronaut in the pool or creating the dog on the mountains. Instead of doing that, we can come here and analyze exactly what are the winning designs, what are the winning products on Etsy, and we can create similar style designs. So we have better chances, you have better chances to sell your products well and to earn a recurrent passive income from this business, okay? So this is the software. You can come here and log in. This is free. Of course, they have pay plans, but you can start 100% free. You see here, you will see all the stats for the products, and I'll show you this in action. So let me go to my account. If you don't have an account, you create an account. And when you have your Etsy store, this is the dashboard, you can come and connect your shop. By doing this, you will see your revenue, how many orders you get, what is the rate, the reviews that you are getting, the average order value, and good information about your store. So this is a dashboard that you can have to see all your activity, all the sales that you are getting on Etsy, okay? But the most important thing that I want to show you here, I won't go deep in all the details of this software. I just want to show you one aspect, which is the market research. In my opinion, is the most important thing. You see, you come here, you can use the keyword research, and you can search specific keywords like t-shirts or stuff like that. Or you can use the product research, and this is my favorite. If I expand this, we have the product seeker, the shop analyzer, and the Allura extension that we can use when we are navigating the web. We are using now the product seeker, the product seeker and the shop analyzer. That's what we will be using here. So if we go to the product seeker, we have a video that we can watch here with instructions and tips on how to use this. But basically, I can come here and just type a specific keyword like shirts. For example, I can choose a category, a country, and I can also change the metrics here if I want. So let me search for shirts and see the results, just so you have an idea. So you have many t-shirts coming here. There are thousands and thousands of t-shirts on Etsy. You see, you can load more if you want, and you can order this by total of sales, how many sales they get, how many favorites they get, and also how many monthly sales if you prefer. So this is one way to do it. The next way, which is actually the one that I like, is the shop analyzer. So if I go to shop analyzer here, you see that these are the top trending shops in the whole marketplace of Etsy. So in the whole Etsy, these are the top guys. And you can analyze these guys, or you can come here and search for the name or just paste the URL, as I will show you here for the t-shirts. So here we have all these guys. You see this one, the minimalist Caitlin, she already made almost $70 million on this Etsy store. She have over 2 million sales, and it's on the jewelry category. You see here, the next one made, let's see, let's order by revenue. We cannot order here right now. The next one sold almost 20,000 units, and it earned almost $2 million on this one. It's craft supplies. So you see all these in order here, the top performing stores here on Etsy. So how do we search for t-shirts? I want you to come to Etsy now, and you search for a specific t-shirt that you like, or for a store, and you see, when we see the page, we have here the shop name. So in this case is Good Tees Custom Shirts. This is the name of this one. If I click here, we see they have over 100,000 sales in their history. They have 5-star reviews, so it's a great shop. And you see that the designs are really cool, and these are designs that we can easily create, I think, on using artificial intelligence on Midjourney, for example, or any other artificial intelligence software. They are really cool t-shirts. And to analyze how well are performing, which one is the best-selling product, we can come here and just copy the name, or just copy the URL. In this case, I copy the name. I come here to the product research and shop analyzer, and I paste the name here. So let's search for that. Let's see. And here we go. It's opening. This is the one. This is the shop we're analyzing here. Excellent. We see the number of sales is exactly what we are seeing on Etsy, and we see the revenue. In this case, the revenue by Allura, they are saying that they earn a little bit over $2 million on this store selling t-shirts. Okay, how many reviews they get, how many listings they have, the sales per listing, the admirers, and they are on Etsy since 2021. Look at these guys. We are now on 2023, so this store, it has a little bit less than 2 years, and the revenue on this website is saying that they made $2 million. So this is great. So here we have all the products. We can order by product, by price, by favorite, by monthly sales, or by total sales. Let's go with total sales and see. So we see that the Christmas sweatshirt for women is the one that sold the most. If we go by monthly sales, we see also that the Christmas one is the first one. Let's explore here. Let's see the Dead Inside Skeleton Christmas. Let's look at this one. I click here. It opens here on the left. So you see that this looks like it's a skeleton with a Christmas hat. So it's like a funny t-shirt. This is great. Let's view on Etsy so we can have more information about this. Look at this. This looks great. Yes. And this is something that we can create on Midjourney. Not the same, of course, because we don't want to copy any of this. We are just getting inspired by these big sellers on Etsy, so you can have an idea of which are the products that sells the best. Okay, so this is how you analyze the shop, you analyze the product. Based on this, you can come and start creating your art here on Midjourney. Use the Printify, as I showed you in the last video, to connect your Etsy store to Printify, upload your design, and every time somebody purchases these t-shirts, automatically, you don't need to click any button, automatically Printify will print the right size, the right graphic on that t-shirt and will ship to your final client. This is outstanding. It's the easiest way that you can create a business here on Etsy. Okay, I hope you try this. I hope you invest your time looking and doing the market research, because that's the most important thing. If you said, Diego, I'm not sure how to start, if I will start with what kind of graphics, I just want to sell the t-shirts, I recommend you to go with something that you love. So I love hiking. I could create t-shirts about hiking, for example. So go with something that you love, but also do the market research to make sure there is a market. There are people searching for that specific graphic that you are planning to create. Okay, do that, and we continue with the course in the next video.
Welcome to this new section in the course. This is a case study on how to start making money with these AI tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, or really in the future, there will be a number of AI tools and you could use any of them. In this case study, I'm going to walk through how I started making money with Amazon books created with ChatGPT in 24 hours. And I'm not kidding you, this is completely true. I spent one day, not even a full day, one day on the couch watching a movie with my kids. They were watching, I don't know what it was. It was probably Moana or Encanto for the 50th time. And we were all sick. And I thought, let me just play around with ChatGPT. I have been meaning to put out more Amazon books. And while sitting on the couch, ChatGPT did most of the work for me. And I had a book up and running within 24 hours. And in the first month, it was making passive income. So first, I want to talk about why Amazon books and why I think it's a great passive income model for you. Reason number one is that it's relatively easy to create. You build it once and then it's passive after that. And nowadays it's easier than ever to actually create an ebook that's formatted properly. 10 years ago, when I started putting out my first ebooks on Amazon, it took a little bit of extra work. I actually ended up hiring out and outsourcing some of the formatting because it was not as easy as it is today. And now with the tools that Amazon has created for us, we can actually just take the text from ChatGPT done with a little bit of formatting with Google Docs or Microsoft Word or something like that, and then plug it straight into the Amazon Kindle editor, and it's all done for you. And like I said, it's passive after that. If you can get a book up and running once, you do a little bit of marketing. We'll talk about expectations in just a second on how we market our books. But if you do a little bit of marketing, you can get it up and running. It can be passive income for many years after that. Speaking of marketing, the second reason I like Amazon Kindle and Amazon books in general, not just Kindle books, is that it has some built-in marketing within the platform. I'll show you the Kindle Select program when we go in and actually publish our book. But there are ways that we can promote our books using their marketing machine. And one of the ways is actually doing a Kindle deal or a Kindle freebie where you actually give your book away for free, but this helps get it in front of more people. You can actually start making money from some of these sales because there is a program where you're actually making money for the pages read on Kindle and not just upfront sales. And then after you market using these techniques, especially giving away for free, I found that this boosts your ranking and helps you actually start making sales when it's a paid product. And that's all built into Amazon Kindle and Amazon, the KDP Kindle publishing platform. And I'll show you how to do that. So it's built in, so you don't have to do a ton of marketing yourself after you get it going. All I've done with all of my previous books is I launch it to my audience, and then every quarter you have the option of doing one of these built-in marketing tools. And I do that, I run that every quarter, and that helps boost that ranking and keeps the passive income flowing. Another reason I like Amazon books is because it builds your reputation. There's nothing cooler than having that title as an author. And I believe that you're legitimately an author by publishing an Amazon book. Now, there's going to be a line now using AI tools where you're not technically writing it yourself, but as a publishing company, you are an author. And what's even cooler is you can quickly turn, I'm grabbing right here, your ebook into a hardback or a soft cover book like this one. This is the book that I created within 24 hours for this case study. And within a couple weeks, it was published and shipped to my house. Nice cover that I designed. And it's pretty impressive to have this on my shelf with my other books that I've made, along with the other authors that I like reading. So super cool. That's one of the cool things about Amazon. You can quickly turn an ebook into a hardcover book. Then lastly, what I like about it is that you can turn your time into passive income either on a small scale, a little bit of side income, helps you go out that extra time, pay for that extra appetizer, or it can be grown into even more income, full-time income, paying for that vacation or beyond, depending on how much work you put into it. To be honest, my Kindle books, my Amazon books are completely a side thing right now it's sort of like the icing on the cake. My main source of income is online courses. It's doing actual photography, video, creative work, but having some extra money on Amazon has always been good, and seeing how quickly and easily I can do it with the help of ChatGPT is inspiring me to create more books. And I actually have over a dozen new books in the pipeline that I'm working on that will build up my income on Amazon into something that right now it's a couple $100s a month. And then hopefully in the future, it will reach that $1,000 point and even beyond. So let's talk about expectations when creating and launching a book. Creating the book is going to be the easiest part. And that might sound a little bit daunting to you, but even if you were writing the book yourself, that's going to be the easier side than marketing it, unless you already have an audience. The truth is, and I want you to be completely clear, you will need to market your book somehow. It is not going to start making money without an audience, without you doing some marketing. That being said, if you are already a content creator, if you have a website, an online community, if you teach online courses, if you have a YouTube channel, some kind of following on Instagram, you can get a book up and running. You can even make it a bestseller within a couple days just with your audience, and it doesn't have to be huge. If you can get 100 people or 1,000 people to download your book for free. Remember, we're using these free marketing tools to our advantage, and that's the strategy I'm going to show you. When we launch our book for free, if you could get a couple hundred people or even 1,000 people to download your book in the first couple days that you push to the platform, then that's going to propel your book to success. Now, I say that because I want you to know that everything is a spectrum. If you have 100 true fans, then the amount of money you're going to make with your book is going to be lower than if you have 1 million fans or 1,000 true fans. And so I just want to be upfront and clear. If you're starting from scratch with no audience right now, you're not going to be making money in 24 hours. But if you have an existing audience and you can write a book that they appreciate, they want, then you could be making money within another day or two. We'll look more into the marketing and I'll talk about how I do that. But really quickly, I just want to show you the proof of the success, and I'm going to look into my earnings. I'm going to look at my lifetime earnings for all of my books, and then also this book that I put out a couple weeks ago. And so let's go ahead and look at the numbers. All right, so here we are in the back end of Kindle Direct Publishing. Don't worry, I'll show you how to sign up and do everything like that in the future. These are lifetime earnings. So $10,000, not a lot, not a ton. For the first, I would say 8 years, I had 3 small books. It was my Teach Online, my Bestseller Blueprint, and my Freelance Kickstart books. And you can see the total numbers there. A few $100s for one, $600 for the other, and almost $4,000 at this point. A few years ago, I published the Photography Masterclass book, and this was, I would say, a new phase in my Kindle and book publishing career. These first three were really just small experiments. I didn't have a large audience, and so that's why the numbers are a little bit lower. Let me actually just take off those three books because I want to show you these two books. So starting in, this was January 2020. This was about 3 years ago now. Since then, I've made $4,600 from this one book. And you can see this new book, the 52 Photography Challenges book, which is a smaller book, made $60, and that's just in the past month. And that's pretty incredible. So that might not seem like a lot to you, but what I'm excited about is this is just another little stream of income coming to me. That's another thing about expectations. Will you write the next Harry Potter series that turns into a lifetime of riches? Likely not. It's possible, but more realistically, it's going to take many books to turn into a large river of income. And each book is a little stream of income. And that's what I like about putting out all these online products, digital products. Each of my little or big products is a stream that turns into a large full-time income for myself, for hiring employees, for several people that I pay nowadays. And so $60, I don't know. What do you think? Is that a lot? Is that a little for the first? Let's see when I started making that. Let's just go to this one. And then we will put for the past month or this last month. Oh, that was last month. And so, yes, it was all in this month that we made this, starting April 1st. So almost a month in, so about 20 days in, we're at $60. So it'll end up just shy of $100 for the first month, I'm guessing. But now you can imagine. So say I did this 10 times. And another thing is I'm not going to be making $100 a month with this. The first month is going to be likely your biggest month, and then it will kind of decrease. I would expect maybe making $25 to $50 a month after this. So you can do the math, but how many books would it take for me to be making a full-time income on this? A lot. But using ChatGPT, if I were to focus specifically on book creation, I could be doing that within a month if I was putting out a book every couple days or two. Not that you want to do that because your audience is going to get overwhelmed with seeing you put out new books every day. They're not going to likely download your book. The free marketing technique will show you won't work if you do that. But if you're putting out a new book every month or something, and over the next year or two, you will likely see a decent amount of income combined. The other thing too is that all of these products, they feed into each other in the sense of if you have multiple books, one person is going to be more likely to buy your next book if they've purchased that first book or downloaded that first book. So the more you have, the more ways people find those books, the more ways people find you. And so it all kind of grows together like a snowball instead of just having one book. All right, so hopefully this excites you, and we will dive into actually how to make this book from start to scratch, starting in the next lesson. Let's come up with our book idea. So the first step is just brainstorming topics, and this is going to change depending on if you have an audience or not. And then we're going to look at the market demand using a few different ways that I look at demand both on Amazon and off of Amazon to see if this book is likely going to make money if it starts to rank well. And that's the point of selling any digital product or service. You need to rank on the platforms that provide these services. And so we'll look at how to do that. So the first thing to think about is, do you have a brand or a business or an audience already or not? If you have an audience, it makes it a lot easier. You know what your audience wants. You are probably a member of your audience. You're not just making books or content for some random reason, for a random audience that you don't connect with. And I think that this is the best way to go about it, is to use your audience, to use the reason you create content to make a book. So if you have popular YouTube videos, if you have an online course, if you have a community, go to them and say, well, what you could put out a survey and you could ask them what topics they're interested in. You probably know, if you have other forms of content, what popular topics there are. So if you have a popular online course, then the best thing to do is to just turn that online course into a book. And you could even use the transcripts and the outline from your online course and turn that into a book super easily. And I can even show you how to do that using ChatGPT. And then if you don't have online courses, just think about any other content you might have. Do you write blog articles? Do you have YouTube videos like I mentioned? Look at the popular ones and use that as a basis for a book. And the question is, do you go broad or do you go narrow? This is really going to depend on your niche and specifically, and what the demand is on Amazon for books. For example, I teach photography, so I have a general photography masterclass book, which is based off of my full photography masterclass course. And that is a great book for a lot of people, but it's not for everyone. And having the smaller books like the 52 photo challenges, or books that I'm currently working on like landscape photography, night photography, those kinds of books are going to be other additional books that will be great for a certain segment of my audience, and it'll be easier to rank those books for that topic. Imagine how many people are looking for a book on photography on Amazon. It's a lot more than specifically landscape photography. And you might think, well, that's great because I can make more money with that topic. No, not necessarily, because there's going to be a lot more competition for those broader books. I would try both. Try doing a general broad book on whatever topic area you are an expert in, and then also do some more niche books as well. And then think about what is hot. Is there something hot or trending in your niche that doesn't have as much competition? If you can be an early adopter to writing a book about a specific topic, you have greater opportunity to start ranking first and to become that sort of dominant book on the marketplace. So this class in itself, ChatGPT, AI tools, this is a trending topic that would be a great topic for writing books on, to start to plant your flag in the Amazon marketplace with books on this topic. So that's a great example of a trending topic that likely doesn't have as much competition as something like photography, which is a topic that has been around forever. And there's big whales in terms of big companies that put out books about that topic as well. So think about hot topics as well. So this is if you have an audience. It just makes sense to create a book on the topic your audience is interested in, because it's going to help with that initial marketing. Say you don't have an audience and you're just trying to make passive income with Amazon books using ChatGPT, and you're just wondering what topics are out there, then you have to do a little bit more digging and research to see what works well. So one of the best things that I've seen other users do and use ChatGPT for are creating children's books. Children's books are great because they are very short. You can use tools like Midjourney to create the art for children's book as well. And parents buy lots and lots and lots of books for their kids. And so you can actually use ChatGPT to write out short children's books. Think about like an educational series of children's books for kids learning how to read, learning how to write, learning about different topics. Think about and I'm a parent to young kids, so it might be easier for me to think about this, but imagine sort of all those books that kids get into, whether they're learning about space, they're learning about nature, they're learning about how electricity works, they're learning about how what animals there are. you could do all kinds of short little books using ChatGPT for kids. And that's just one example of a topic that's always going to be in demand and one that you can create a lot of books relatively quickly. Now, I say this with a little bit of hesitation because I don't want you or people going out there and just putting out hundreds or thousands of books without editing them, without really thinking about the topic. I think it has to be well thought out. The outline has to be thought out. And of course, making sure the words are properly spelled, the grammar is good, which ChatGPT does relatively well for you, but also factual information. So all of these things you got to be a little bit hesitant about, but that's one area that you can do a lot of books and you might have success in. Now, if you have an audience or not, and you are just struggling to come up with an idea, you can use ChatGPT to come up with an idea for you. So here, let's go over to ChatGPT and see how it can help us come up with great ideas. I'm going to be using GPT-4. It's available to Plus members right now. Eventually, who knows, maybe it'll be the free option for everybody. But just know that the quality of content will be a little bit better for GPT-4 compared to 3.5, and you'll see this if you are a Plus member. You have the option for GPT-4, and if you're doing something like writing books, I would pay to upgrade. It's only $20 a month, and you are limited right now. This has changed. It's limited to 25 messages every 3 hours, so that's somewhat limited. But you can get a lot done within those 25 messages, and the quality is going to be a lot better. So how would I go about brainstorming a book for the photography niche? We're just going to use that because that's what I do. That's what my audience is. And so you can go super broad. You can ask ChatGPT, what are popular book topics in the photography niche? And ChatGPT is going to give out a bunch of different options and ideas. So here you can see it working through. We've got technique and composition, post-processing and editing, lighting, portrait photography, landscape photography, wildlife photography, street photography, travel photography. You can think of any type of photography. Another way to ask this question or this prompt is, instead of just what are book topics for photography, you could just simply ask, make a list of different types of photography, because each of those types of photography could be a separate book. Another approach to being broad or narrow is for beginner or advanced users. I might want to prompt, make a list of 10 advanced photography topics. You could ask 10 photography topics, 10 advanced photography book ideas, or you could ask in a different way, 10 photography YouTube video ideas. The way you phrase topic versus YouTube video versus book versus blog article will change or might change the topics that it provides. And so now we're getting these different ideas. These are more advanced, and we have to use our human brain, our experience as a photographer, someone running this community, running content for this business. And we use that to see, okay, well, we've got long exposure photography, infrared photography, time-lapse photography. All of these could be great little books, but some aren't going to be as popular as others. But we can then take these ideas and look at Amazon and see what are the popular books. Are there books on light painting? Are there books on 360-degree photography? And then we'll see what's popular or not and which topic we should actually use. Another way to ask for topics is, what are the top keywords in the, let's say, related to photography? Top SEO. Top SEO keywords related to photography can change over time, blah, blah, blah. You could also ask for specific platforms on YouTube, on Amazon, on Google. So here we have portrait photography, landscape photography, wedding photography. Those are some of the ones at the top of the list. And I know as a photography teacher, yes, those are some of the most popular courses that I teach. And so it makes sense that these would be popular keywords and hence, therefore, popular book topics. Okay. So those are a few ways to just come up with general ideas. Let's just brainstorm the idea for educational kids books. So let's ask, make a list of 25 ideas for educational kids books, ages, let's say 3 to 7. That's kind of a big age range, so we'll see. ABCs of the Animal Kingdom, an alphabet book featuring unique animals for each letters. The Colorful World, Shapes Around Us, a trip through the solar system. So this prompt is actually giving us specific book ideas, perhaps book titles, which we could change later on, and then what that book is about. So you can see how easy it is that we're coming up with lots of ideas. So I'm going to stop it here. We've got a lot of ideas, and then we're going to take these ideas and figure out which one's going to be worthwhile publishing. One of the first places you might want to look, and this will help you either determining one of the previous topics or list of topics, what's more popular than another topic, or just to come up with what is trending, go to Google Trends. And you can see that here, you can search for a topic, you can see how it's trending, but I want to show you first, if you go to the Explore tab, you can see what has been trending over the past 12 months. So here you can see on the right-hand side, ChatGPT is super popular. Let's go ahead and see some of these other ones. World Cup, certain people. So some of these might work well for a book, some not. Different people. So a lot, I would kind of stay away from writing books about specific people. You can get into some issues with that. I would rather do it kind of general. So these are just ideas to get you started. But really what I would use for Google Trends for is comparing different topics. So say we're looking at portrait photography versus landscape photography. What I can do is I can type in portrait photography. Make sure you spell it right. And then you can compare it over time. So this is over just the past day. Let's do it over the past 90 days to start. And we'll compare this to landscape photography. And this is a great tool because you can see the interest on Google. And Google is the world's largest search engine. So you know this is great data on what is actually more popular or not. This is pretty tight. You can see the blue is portrait, red is landscape. They have an average over here, and you can see that portrait photography is more popular. That might be what ChatGPT's results in that list were based off of, some of the historical results that are on Google or the number of web pages. And as soon as ChatGPT is connected to the internet, which it wasn't in the beginning, we'll have even better data. This one's a little bit tighter. Let's go ahead and add another one. We'll search mobile photography. That was a topic that was a little bit lower down on the list, but might be one that doesn't have as much competition on Amazon, and it's a little bit lower. All right, so here we are on Amazon. You want to make sure you're on the books section, and specifically, I would say the Kindle books. So under books, we're going to go under Kindle books. And we're going to look up portrait photography. So here you can do a little bit of just guesswork. I say guesswork, but really you're analyzing this information on what the popular books are. So I'm going to skip the sponsored books because those ones are being paid for. And you can see here, that's another strategy, is to pay for your book to be sponsored to get some initial traffic even when it's free. Here you have it free with the Kindle Unlimited plan, and that's one of their marketing tools. But down here we have the top books in rankings for portrait photography, the dramatic portrait. 689 reviews, 207 reviews, 219. And I'm looking at that number of reviews and the star rating too, because that's going to determine the ranking of the book more than anything else. But pretty soon we're getting to books that only have 16 reviews. This one's a sponsored one, 16 reviews, 42 reviews, but not really that great. This one, 315 reviews, pretty high. So that's pretty high. This one's 260 reviews. This one's sponsored, so that only has one review, 42. So that's a number of reviews that's not terribly high, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a topic where on the first page of results, relatively up high, we have the opportunity to jump in there with a book that could, if you have an audience that loves you and will download your book for you, read some of that book, leave a review, you can start to rank pretty quickly. Let's look at landscape photography. Oops, just need one photography. And so here, skip sponsored again. Here we have landscape photography, 587, 70, 66, 62. This is the same, that's a sponsored book, 171. So based off of these two topics, landscape photography would likely be easier to jump into because the number of reviews for these top ranked books is a little bit lower. The other thing you can do is you can just, if you're just trying to brainstorm topics, this isn't analyzing a topic, this is just brainstorming, just search for photography. Search for photography. You can see that this one that's sponsored is on all of these search results. And so that's likely getting some pretty good reviews, although the ratings aren't that good. Same with this one. This is sponsored. So let's go ahead and see. So some of these aren't really related to photography necessarily. This is like a memoir. Down here, we see more that are specific to photography, the Digital Photography Complete Course, Adobe Photoshop. Some of these look like fiction, narrative books, the iPhone photography book. So you can kind of see what's ranking well for just the simple term photography. And you might say, oh, well, okay, this is a flambient photography. This is real estate photography, but it only has 19 reviews. That's interesting. Maybe real estate flambient photography is a topic that doesn't have a lot of competition, but it's ranking well on Amazon. Maybe that's what I do. Here's a GoPro Hero 11 Black, how to use that book. That's a topic that you can think about. Okay, when GoPro comes out with the next book or the next camera, I'm going to make a book about it because it's going to rank relatively well with new people buying that camera. Here's another camera specific book. So this is competing with a big brand, the Dummies collection, every topic for dummies. But you could come in there. This one looks like something that's self-published about the Sony DSC RX10. Small niche topic that, and when you look at the grand scheme of the world and people look interested in anything, this is super small, but 703 reviews specific to this one camera. So this is what I'm doing on Amazon. I'm kind of comparing topics, seeing what's trending, seeing where there's space to jump in, but also kind of looking for the general topic and seeing if there's anything that pops up as an idea. The other thing you can do is you could go to other marketplaces, other search engines. You could go to YouTube. You could go to Udemy. Udemy is a great platform to go to search for a topic. So if I go to photography, we're going to see some of my classes, hopefully. So here we have a couple. If we go down to the main results, we have a couple photography classes, my general and my beginner photography class. That's ranking pretty well. Below that, we have an affinity photo class. This is a specific editing class. Might be hard to turn that into a book, but potentially. We've got food photography, another class of mine that is rather popular. We've got night photography, lots of general beginner classes. Here's a DSLR class. We have a couple more general, long exposures. These are a lot of my classes as well. Composition class. So here you can kind of start to get a sense of popular topics as well. And if it's popular on a course platform, then it's likely going to be popular on Amazon. Same with YouTube. I'm not going to go through the process, but if it's a popular topic on YouTube, then it's likely going to be popular on Amazon as well. So when you are in a niche, when you run a business, if you watch YouTube videos that you're interested in and you're interested in writing books about those topics, pay attention to what's trending, and those would be great ideas for your book. So based off of this research, I would go with the landscape photography book. And in fact, that is a book that I'm currently working on, and I'm actually just converting our landscape photography course into a book, and I can show you how to do that. But the course or the book that I decided to create was this book, 52 Photography Challenges. Why did I make this book? Because this is kind of like a random book. How did you even come up with this topic? Because it's not something that came about from just research on ChatGPT. And the way that I did this is because every week in my photography communities, which I have now hundreds of people in that photography community posting photos for these challenges that we do every week, we put out a new challenge. And I decided that it would be kind of cool to put all of those challenges that I've prepped ahead of time into a book. So I already had the ideas, which you don't need to do. You could have had ChatGPT outline this book, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But I already had all those challenges, and I simply had ChatGPT write out the challenges with some tips for each challenge. And it created this nice book that my audience was already going to be interested in because many of them already do the challenges. And the incentive of downloading this book when I published it was that they got early access to all of the challenges, which is kind of cool too. So I was thinking about my audience, thinking what would they want? And even though this is a small niche topic, it was something that I knew would sell pretty well or be given away pretty well, downloaded well for my audience, which would then translate well onto Amazon. Let's go back to Amazon really quickly. Photography, let's just look up photography challenges. So here we have, if you search up photography challenge, my book is now ranking well. It's got 10 reviews that are doing pretty well for the first few weeks. And then below this, we've got some other photography challenge books as well. Even if you did a specific 52 weeks of photography challenges, there's other books out here, 50 photo projects, 52 week photography challenge, 52 week challenge. So I knew there were other people doing this, but I knew I had the audience that would be interested in my book as well. So now it's doing pretty well, ranking. We'll look more at this in the future, but that was a long lesson, but I want to show you the whole process, the whole behind the scenes of what I go through when coming up with the topic. And hopefully this helps as we move forward into actually outlining and creating our book with ChatGPT. Let's create an outline using ChatGPT for our book. I'm going to take a couple topics and show you how it works. If you're doing this from scratch, which I'm going to use the landscape photography topic for, what I would write is make an outline for a book teaching landscape photography. You can put in any topic there, and then ChatGPT is going to do its work creating an actual outline for this book. Introduction, importance and appeal of landscape photography, overview of the book's content, essential gear for landscape photography. We've got cameras, lenses, tripods, filters. Some of these things I know as the expert might not fit in well, or it's not a big enough topic to be here. Each of these would then be a separate chapter. So these would be sections, and then each subpoint A, B, C through whatever letter would be a separate, I would say, chapter in the book. You could combine it into chapters. So like 4 or 5 would be chapters, and then each of these would be separate sections of that chapter. But I think this outline makes sense to have each of these points as a separate little chapter. And I know as a reader, especially for educational content, it's nice to have little wins by getting through little chapters. So our chapters for our book are going to be short. So I would just let ChatGPT do the work here, writing out this outline. It helps to have some sort of document like Google Docs where you can then take this and finesse it, take it and edit it. So what I'm going to do, I have this photography workshop course, and this is a book that I was already creating, and I'll show you how I did that, taking the outline and the captions, the transcript from my course. But here what I'm going to do is just create a new landscape photography book outline. Let's make this bigger so you can see. So from here, we can take this now, we can copy this. And the formatting in ChatGPT, it doesn't have it broken down into bullet points that are indented. So what I like to do, let's go down here. All right, so we got all of that, make sure. Then what I like to do is just select everything, that's Command A, and then format, clear formatting. All right. And then from here, we can just kind of reorganize ourselves. We can just indent these just for our visual posterity. And you can, I don't need to do this on camera showing this to you, but I like to just kind of organize things a bit. And then from here, we can finesse it. So say remote shutter release. Do I think that's important? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe there's a topic that I thought would be good that wasn't included, so I can add those in here as well. You can move things around, because I would then go back to ChatGPT. Let's say we just don't want the post-processing section. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to rename these sections, and then I would take this I've finessed already, copy it, and say I have reworked the outline. Here it is. You could say I've edited the outline, I've reworked it. Here it is. From there, we can take this outline and prompt to do the next step, which would be to actually start working on the book itself. Let's make ChatGPT write our book for us. So here you're looking at the book that I created, the 52 Photography Challenges book. I'm so proud of it. I keep showing it to you because it's so cool that it's hardbook now, hardcover. And I want to show you the prompt that I used. So I already had the 52 challenges, but I could have easily asked ChatGPT to come up with 52 weekly photography challenges, and I would have just prompted it that. From there, I would have had that outline, quote unquote, outline for the book. And here's the prompt I have for writing this particular book. I start by prompting it and giving it a character, basically. You are a photography teacher, giving it a role. You are writing a book inspiring beginner photographers to get out and take photos. Each week, we share a photography challenge for our students. The first challenge is animals photography. Make a list of 5 tips for taking better photos of animals. And you can see what it returned. It has like a title, which I'm not going to use, but it thought it was writing a book, so it gave us a title. Then it has the chapter, Challenge 1, Animals. Gives a little bit of information, and then it has 5 tips for that topic. I gave it a little bit of appreciation, which I think it's funny. I don't need to do that. Good job. Repeat this for the next chapter. Although I'm not exactly sure, it might, by showing appreciation or telling it good job, it might know that it did the right thing. But you could probably just write, repeat this for the next chapter, which is the photography challenge, patterns. So this is where it takes a little bit of time. And like I said, I was sick watching a movie with my kids on the laptop, and all I did was copy that, paste the topic. Then I challenged it to do the next 5 chapters. So I just included the chapters afterwards, all 5 of them, and it did that for all 5 chapters. Although what you'll notice if you do some sort of longer form ChatGPT work, sometimes it pauses out. And so all I said was continue. And this was actually with ChatGPT, the 3.5 version, because this is rather simple. I've used the ChatGPT 4 when I was taking my closed captions or transcript and converted it to written format, because those were coming out better with the version 4. But for this basic stuff, the 3.5 was doing fine. Then I expanded it to 10 chapters, and I was just doing this slowly, incrementally increasing it, and it did a really good job. It didn't have any catch-ups or anything. So that's all I did, and I basically, I just did that till it was over. Then at the beginning, let's see, where am I? After it was all done, I asked, write an introduction chapter to this book, explaining what it is, who it's for, how to best use it, briefly explain who the author is. I included myself, gave it some more context, and it wrote an introduction to the book for me, which I then took and edited. I added some links and made sure it sounded better coming from me. I had it write a bonus chapter at the end, a 1,500 word bonus chapter titled Get Inspiration to Take Photographs in Your Own Backyard. Gave it information there, and it came back with a chapter with 10 tips for doing that, which was pretty awesome. I also had it write a conclusion chapter to the book. And then I also, you see here what I did. I wrote a description for Amazon, which will come up later. But another thing I did was I had it write a copyright page. So here I have write a copyright page for this book. And since it's all in this one chain of prompts, it knows what we were asking about. It knows the book it's writing, and it's taking that information and it's all here. I had to do a little bit of customizing and editing of this, but it's a pretty darn good copyright page that I used for my book. So that's how I did it for the 52 Photography Challenge book. Let's look at how I would do it for our new book, which is the landscape photography book. So if I have created the outline, and maybe I'm happy with the outline or I've given it a revised outline, I would then tell ChatGPT to write out this first part. So I would say, write out the first chapters of this book. And then I would just paste this. You could do this one at a time. Now it's seeing it as one chapter. The introduction is the chapter rather than each of these being a chapter, which I think makes sense for this introduction. We just have one introduction chapter, and you can see that it's writing for me. It's writing the full chapter. Now, while it's doing this, I want to talk about how you can then edit this to make it sound more like you. There's a couple approaches. You can give it a style. So you can have this book, say you do a couple attempts with this first chapter, and if you like it, you like it. If not, if you want it to be more funny, more casual, more professional, you can ask ChatGPT to rewrite that chapter, but be more funny, be more casual, write it for a different audience. You can say, write this book, and you might want to do this at the very beginning. Say, this is a book for elementary school students, or this is a book for teenagers. This is a book for young adults. And it will actually change the way that it writes the book based off of that prompt. So here we have a pretty long book that it's writing, which is pretty cool. And then, for example, here, let's just say, rewrite this chapter, make it more casual and down to earth. The author should be funny. So it's going to take that, and it's gone a little bit too far. Why landscape photography is the bee's knees. That's not necessarily what we want, but instead of the beginning being, what was it? Landscape photography has long been one of the most popular and enduring forms of the photographic art. It's a little bit bland. Say, hey there, fellow photography enthusiasts. So you've decided to take the plunge and immerse yourself in the wonderful world of landscape photography. And why wouldn't you? It's only the coolest, most rewarding, and downright breathtaking genre of photography there is. So it's a little bit more fun. It might be a little bit too much, so we might kind of tone that down. Maybe we don't say the author is funny. We just say be a little bit more casual, down to earth, and see how that goes. And you want to do this for the first chapter before you continue, rather than having it rewrite the whole book, because you want it to be writing each chapter the way that you want. Another thing you can do is you could actually train it using your own writing. So if you have blog articles, if you have a video script, that you can download from YouTube. They provide the closed captions on YouTube. You could actually plug it in and you can train ChatGPT and say, this is how I talk. Rewrite, or you are an author and you are going to use a similar tone as this video, and then you paste the script, or you paste the article, or you provide a link to a blog article that you've written, emails that you've written. You can actually train ChatGPT to sound like you, which is a more advanced way to do this. And if you are writing as yourself using ChatGPT, I would highly recommend doing that first. The other thing that I've done and I've started to do with my courses is convert those to books, to written text. And I'll show you the prompts for that. So here is the landscape photography book. So this is the prompt that I gave it for converting my course, or it could be videos, to written format. And this was with GPT-4. The content or the quality was higher. It says, these are closed captions from a video lesson in a course on landscape photography. You are a writer converting these videos into a written book with professional and natural language. Any reference to the video lesson, or similar should be changed to references to the book, chapter, etc. that you are writing. This was something that I had to edit because it talked about the video when it converted it, because in the course I'm always talking about, like, in this video I'm going to show you blah, 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 or whatever. Turn these captions into a chapter of this educational book. Complete this task for the entire video. If there are ever, this should be ever, but it knew, ever references to photos that are being displayed on screen, make a note of insert photo here to remind the book editor that a photo is being referenced in the book and needs to be added later on. The video captions for this lesson are, and then I just simply took the captions that I downloaded from my course video and pasted them there. And you can see, so here's like an example of the captions. It has all the numbers and stuff that come with the caption file. I just pasted it. ChatGPT knows that that's irrelevant. And then it turns chapter 1, what makes a good landscape photo? In landscape photography, there are several elements, blah, blah, blah. And it just kind of took what I've written, which is personalized, and converted it to a written format. And then here you can see that it has those notes for photos where I'm on camera saying, in this photo, you can see that the photographer used certain composition technique or whatever it is. And that's important to have, because if it's in the book, then it wouldn't make sense without the photo. And so I train ChatGPT to put that in the book so I can easily see when I'm editing it where to add photos. I believe I added a little bit, I changed that prompt a little bit later on. I said, there may be times in the video that I'm referencing a photo that's visually displayed. When this happens, add a note and remind the book editor that a photo is being referenced in the book. Include information about what photo should be added, because this is sort of next level. Instead of just like having a note, I wanted to know exactly what the photo was about so that my editor or myself, I could easily find it, right? Because that would be kind of hard to like just find a random photo. And here we have insert photo here, example of Big Sur, California. Insert photo here, example of Bixby Bridge in different weather conditions. This blew my mind that it could know how to do that based off of what I was saying. I mean, it makes sense if I was hiring someone to convert my video to a book, that they would be able to know, listen and understand that I'm talking about a book about Bixby Bridge. I might have said something about that, but it condensed it and it adds that note, and it made creating this book and editing it so much faster. So these are just ideas for how you can change the prompt. This is what we're talking about when we talk about prompt engineering. We can engineer the prompt to do exactly what we want from it. The simplest form is just simply asking, here's the chapter, write it out. But you can go even further, changing the tone, giving more direction to make it turn into something truly unique. All right, thanks so much for watching. Basically, what you need to do now is just go through all of your chapters and have ChatGPT write it out. And then we're going to take all that content and we're going to start formatting it for our Kindle book in the next lesson.